Well, for us, it's very excited to open a restaurant in Tokyo because here the food scene is so amazing and it's so challenging to have something here. And I think this is one of the best ways to express what we have as a philosophy of a restaurant coming from Peru. We're really showcasing food that represent ecosystems of Peru. So we'll be doing 9 momentos, what we call like moments, and based on or maybe inspired on Peruvian ecosystems, landscapes, geography, traditions, using Japanese ingredients. Also bringing just a few, like 20% of Peruvian ingredients to the experience. So it will be like a journey through Peruvian ecosystems here in Japan, in Tokyo. We'll be preparing 3 dishes. One is about the ocean. We call it ocean haze. It's about the octopus and some seaweeds, different seaweeds, local seaweeds. And the other one is going to be a dish called watia, which is a way of cooking potatoes and vegetable roots, and also corn with pork using edible clay. And then another one, which is the base is going to be cacao. So this dessert is about many possibilities that we can do with a whole pot of cacao. I'm Virgilio Martinez, chef owner of Central Restaurante in Lima, Peru, and chef director of Maz in Tokyo, Japan. We got into this unique style of cooking, or maybe to see the world in altitudes. I think it took us a while, maybe like 10 years, to understand different ecosystems that we see in our geography and our people. And since I remember I took 1 year to travel through Peru, and I get to see like how the people is looking the entire nature as up and down, and going from the mountains, the Andes and the Amazon, and how important it is to be connected to these people and tradition and soil. As any young chef, I think it takes time to develop or to create on one thing that is part of your identity as a chef, and it took me a while. I remember I spent some time in New York, in London, in Spain, and I was just looking for my identity, and I was looking for learning from other chefs. So when I went back to Peru, I noticed that there were something different to do. There were like a whole world to rediscover, and actually my identity was there in Peru, not in all these places. This is a vertical menu where you go through a journey of different ecosystems, and you go, from the bottom to the sea, to the mountains, and then to the Amazon. So we think about how's the food in Peru, the food scene, how's the food scene in Japan. They could be like quite different, but we find things that are similar. Let's say if you go to the countryside, people in the Andes, in the mountains, in the Amazon, when they are farming, they do probably the same ways, and using the same ideas and same connection with nature as we can see here in Japan. Farmers far away from Tokyo, or even like very close to the city. Well, I see here that farmers are very connected to their craft, their traditions, their agriculture. So I find here people very connected to their roots, and that's very important to have this a strong connection with roots, tradition, and the entire ecosystem and habitats. Yeah, we do have many messages in our cooking style, our philosophy. I think one of the main ones is like preservation of ecosystems, natural ecosystems, not just in Peru, in the world, the whole world. And the other one is about like keeping our traditions and through innovation, of course. Like tradition and innovation, they go together. And also, how important it is to maintain our focus on nature, because sometimes we lose connection with the producers and natural ecosystems. So to maintain that food and gastronomy is a big connector to natural spaces and habitats. It's very powerful. One of the things that we should be focusing on, maybe like more connected to, is to be there to help, to be there to give something back. This sense of gratitude now is strong, that we're able to cook and we're able to please people, but we can do more. So these huge problematics that are happening, they are not far, they're now here. So it's not about talking about the next generation that will be leading these new ideas. I think this is happening now, and we should be aware of these problematics. One of the main things that make me think that what we do is important is that I truly believe that fine dining has a purpose, and it's not about just like achieving perfection in the service, achieving perfection here in the dining room. It's about transcendence, and how much you spread your message and how good you can do for community.
Hi, I'm Santiago Fernandez. I'm the head chef at Maz here in Tokyo. Virgilio as a chef is like a mentor, or to me, like he's been teaching me so much. He's so artistic in a way where he understands nature and he has a great sensibility, but also his way of looking like to beauty, and how he just find the aesthetic in the dishes. For me, is like the most impressive thing from him. And the way he just interprets nature, for me, is also like my main thing that I learned from him all these years. One of the things that we can achieve in Japan after like traveling so many times with Virgilio is just like the sensibility, as I told, like the same sensibility that the Japanese have for nature as the Peruvians or us in Central we have, is easy for us to assimilate and to transmit our message, because it's very easy just to relate to this way of seeing food and seeing like culinary. So that's the difference from other maybe places that in Japan is so powerful, More than a difficulty, I think it's just a challenge to understand and to interpret the Japanese culture that is so like profound and deep. And for me, it's just like the process, At the same time, being a challenge is the most interesting thing for me, just to understand and trying to be like respectful with all the traditions and not misunderstanding anything. For me, that's the most important thing.
Working with communities, we've been working with communities, we've been working with people, and we kind of listen to what were the problems on the soil, why the production of, let's say, potatoes is not increasing, is decreasing. So why are these things happening? And there are many other factors that probably are not part of the agenda of what the people knows. That thing that we do with cacao is very important, because it's not about just, of course, using the chocolate. It's about using the whole pod, the whole fruit. There are thousands of possibilities to make cacao, and not seeing just the cacao as chocolate. We're achieving like different textures coming from the skins, from the mucilage, from the pulp, from different ways to use the beans. So we're doing this on sweets, also on savories. So we always see that a recipe can evolve, and can evolve a lot. And this is quite interesting for us to see that if we go to see cacao, the cacao plantations, and we can start the recipe in the farm. The mise en place can be prepared in the cacao plantation and not in the kitchen. what we want to achieve here is that people get inspiration to go and be connected to nature, to be connected to farms, agriculture, and to Peru too. What is happening in Peru is quite revolutionary in a way that seeing the world with different ecosystems is quite inspiring for gastronomy. So we're in times where we need to preserve these values, and that's one of the key messages that will be spread here.